Okay, I think we're back. Had to reboot the router there. Some connection issues, but it was because my roommate was doing some stuff. Told him not to do it anymore, or at least not during stream. Ja? Hallo?
Wat ben je aan het streamen?
Zeker. Hi, that's the roommate.
Oké. Oké, succes.
Yo, thanks. Alright, we're back. 3 losses. And that last one was just sad, actually. Okay. Zyxon. Or Xixon. Don't know how to say it in Scandinavian. I think he's from Sweden. There was talk it's Firefly from Fix, if you know that. Let's go pawn it before and knight takes e4. I've played this before and it felt okay for me. Rook g8, since bishop takes e5 and knight takes g7. And now maybe bishop knight takes e7 takes and knight d5. Okay, he goes knight d5 immediately. And obviously I don't want him to take on e7. So I guess I'll take here and I'll accept that this knight will be taken. Maybe I can go knight at f4. Knight at f4 takes here, takes on g2. It's not really that promising though. Knight g5 also possible. Let's go knight c5 and see how he plans to do this. The problem with knight c5 is that he can play d6 or pin it and play d6 afterwards, like he's doing. So I guess I'll have to put a knight on e6 anyway. Okay, this knight at e6 idea is something I tried a few times, but it's not proving to be very strong. Actually, it's just plain bad, it seems. Yeah, and you can just take this knight, okay. Okay, I have to find something else against e4, e5 there. Okay, all you need is Luft. Very strong turnout this tournament. Lots of strong players. Let's see if we can get something going here. Probably see h5, h4 here. There we go. And this is actually a nice setup by him. Let's go bishop e3, just develop and see what he does. Also, could also play h4 actually, and was thinking about going g4 maybe. Could also take, if you take, and then knight at f3 again. Now let's go g4 and just take. And then take this pawn on h3 as well. Maybe pawn at g2 was better, and I wanted to go pawn at h5 next, but now he's getting a bishop in return. Probably we'll see knight at h4 or f4, and that would have been better if there was a pawn here instead of a bishop, because then the bishop could have been used on g5, for example. Okay, going for a slower move. And now I have to think if pawn here is justified. I think I'll have to try it. And takes, and then at least I'll have some opportunities. The problem is that he has queen h4 in some lines though. So for example now even pawn at h2, we might see that. Okay, he's deciding to ignore this. So let's take and king d7 probably. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's defend this. A bishop on e8 would be nice. Not mating just yet, I think, since he can just take it, but it will be very nice. Knight here, I'll take, and rook at h3. Ah, okay. That's so easy. I thought about this idea before, but then my queen was still on e2, and now it's just plain basic fork. And in my head the queen was still on d1, so I thought, well, queen h4, then I'll play knight at some blocker on h3 and I'll be fine. But knight at g3 forked the queen there. Okay, 5 losses in a row. Not off to a great first hour. Let's see. Jan Lee doing very well. Okay, Factor, feeling confident enough or playing bad enough to berserk, and let's see how it goes. Maybe get some points back. B4, let's cover that. And he's playing quick as well, and I don't know if that's the way to go against someone who is berserking. On the one hand, of course, it's a good thing, because you're keeping him under pressure on the clock. But on the other hand, you if you just take the time in the opening to find the correct moves, you can easily be better after a few moves. Okay, let's just block. And block here again, and I'll just take this. And now this is covered. And maybe we can go on e7 and f6 next. Okay, he's doubling up. I'll take the queen then, since this is covered twice by this one and this. And I can play pawn at e4 maybe next to cover this threat. And this bishop is doing a nice job of defending g5 as well as e3. Okay, let's trade some more. Try to make use of this open e-file. Brute forcing the way in. Knight here. Wants to go for knight at h4 maybe. e3 is covered twice, so he can't go there. But I can just sidestep f3 is covered. And now I'm threatening to take here. Queen at d7 is also a major threat. So tough position for him. Okay, queen at d7 missed, I think. Made in 2. Okay. Fumi tucks. Let's berserk back, and maybe we'll get back in the tournament here, or at least play a good game. Ah yeah, should play rook b8 first there, I think. Now he's got a nice advantage. Okay, let's just give him the rook. Bishop a3. Okay, goes for bishop g5. Thought maybe bishop a3 would have been better, because now the knight is hanging still, but I've managed to move to the side there. Okay, this is actually also very strong. I have to get freaky. And this is just bad for me. But alright, it's a berserked game, so maybe something crazy will happen. He managed to trade a queen for a rook, so that's nice for him. Trying to get in. This is looking very strong for me now. Rook at h6, not with the best blocker, but he didn't have a blocker left. That's fortunate for me. When I got the rook there, and it was a forced mate. Okay, 2 games quickly in a row. Now take a breath and try to get a streak going. Of course, it depends on who I play next. Jan Lee is just running away with it again, winning all his games. And Sykes-on also doing well. Emily playing still at the top. Very strong tournament. You can just see the ratings. It's insane actually. So many strong players. JK the Bullfrog, late joint. Okay. Let's not berserk. Try to slow down a bit and get a good game going. Standard e4, e5 opening. And he's going for bishop e7. Alright, let's go for knight g5 then. And bishop e3. Okay, he's going for knight e6. That's well, at least a new move to me. Thinking about taking f7 and going pawn at f5. Let's just go for it. Because if the knight moves to f8, it's doing a good defensive job, but it's also blocking important squares. Alright, he decides to put another knight in. And then I'll take and go knight at g5. And now the rook is trapped. He does have the option of pawn at d4 though. Okay, he's going for d5. He wants me to take so that the bishop opens up here. So I guess I'll take the rook. And just move the bishop back. And then not allow this bishop to get into the game. And if d4, well, then I'll just accept that d4 is happening. Maybe I'll take even and go e5. Or harass on his king. Pawn at f5 is also an option. Just not allowing this bishop the usual scope. Maybe he'll try bishop at g4 and I'll probably take that and go bishop at h5. It's always a nice tactic to remember. So he has to go bishop at h5 if he wants something with the bishop. But so far it seems like he's defending well, so probably he'll not play bishop at g4. He's finding the good moves. Okay, bishop at d7, giving extra coverage here, but also less mobile with his pieces. His pieces are now blocking each other. And I can maybe try some slow maneuver here. I did allow knight at f4 now. Yeah, and he sees it. Not a very hard move. Okay, let's go queen d2. Don't allow a pawn at e2 in the future. As well as reserving the option to take this at some stage. For example, rook at h8, and then maybe a knight is very strong. Okay, but my opponent now getting low on time. That's helpful for me. Okay, he's covering this square nicely. Let's go rook b1 and queen c3, attacking these two pawns. Okay, he sees it. I can force a queen trade here, but it's not yet mating. I'll need another knight, so I'll try to get the knight and then maybe some bishop takes e6 queen trade. At least he has to deal with the threat. Okay, I'll take the knight. Knight here is nothing just yet. Okay. Take here. Okay, let's just go rook e3. And f3 is maybe. I'll have to get a bit of safety squares that I can use. Now this is something he has to deal with. Okay, I can go here. As long as I don't trade queens. When it's his move. Okay, let's get in. Okay, that's just allowing knight at f7 mate in one. His time was was running very low, and that helped me in the end. There, he had to find precise moves. Probably he was doing well. He played a very good opening and middle game there, but took too much time. Okay, let's not berserk again. Okay, he's going for the slow variant and probably mouse slipping there. So this is already nice for me. Let's take here. He can go queen g3 now. Next. Okay, let's go knight d4. Let's see if he wants to go queen g3. Okay, he doesn't. Then we'll go for c6 d5. And this is very good for me, I think. Knight at d2 is possible. Doesn't accomplish that much though. Let's go bishop at d5. Take with the knight, just block any threats on f7. Make him burn the clock. And that's actually, I think that's the way to go against if you don't berserk back, which is of course your own right. If you don't want to play then a fast game, then a slow game. You have to find moves that make your opponent use up their time. Okay, taking a pawn here, maybe going bishop takes g2 in the future. Alright, he decides to take. Now I'm threatening the knight as well as knight at e3. And that's just winning the queen. I don't think he could have ignored this knight here. This is just made in a few moves. Okay, happy to take that. And bouncing back a bit from that 5 losses in a row. And also Jan Lee has lost the game there. So maybe some tension coming back into the tournament. But he is 10 points ahead, and well, it's for example, all you need is Loft is only on 5 games. Some of these games can drag out so long because of the increment. So sometimes it's very hard to chain together a lot of points. So it will be hard to catch Jan Lee, the clear winner of the first hour here. But we'll see. Maybe he'll get challenged. Alright, the finisher up next. Let's go with d4. And knight of 3 at g3. Usual stuff. Let's see how he's playing this. Okay, let's go knight h4. It's a bit of my old way to play this. And the idea is of taking on g6 at some moment, and maybe going for an e4 push. Okay, taking now and covering knight at f5, or at least getting ready to take there. And knight at c4, I'll just move back. And then play e3, queen e2. Just a bit of slower maneuvering. Okay, knight h5. What does he want with knight h5? Maybe f5. Opting to go for bishop f2 so that I can play e3. Okay, now let's go for f4. Since he was trying to go knight at c4 and take a pawn, and then go pawn at e3. And I don't like that. And he now is ready to sacrifice, of course, but at least I'll get some pieces for my trouble. Knight at f3, bit awkward to put the knight there. But I think it's a good thing to push back this bishop some more. And maybe go knight e5 next. Or bishop h4 was a plan if he didn't move it to that square. Thinking about just grabbing a pawn here to put it on g5. But I guess he can defend very easily after that. So let's just go knight e5 with the original plan here. Try to get knight at g4 in after the trade. So trades and knight g4, or if he takes like this, I'll have a pawn looking at f6, and that's always useful when an attack will start. Okay, knight at g5. I'll try to take this one, or maybe pawn at f3, pawn at e4. Let's just say that he's too slow with that attack. And I go knight here, and maybe bishop h4. And then the rook is open. Okay, the finisher not wanting me to play bishop h4 there. Seems very logical. Okay, then I'll take. Okay, he takes back with the knight. Now if I put a bishop, or play bishop h4, he can go like this, so I'll have to place one. Okay, now he's actually getting in. So let's go like this. And maybe take on g5 and then on f3. But the finisher is in a better position here, I would say. Okay, not going for an immediate attack on f3. I think I can take this one then and go bishop f4. Or take here in between. Let's take it there first and then maybe knight at h3. If he takes this one, I'll just sidestep and then I'll have some breathing room. I can go rook takes f5 maybe. And bishop f4 next. Let's just go bishop f4. And hope hope that this isn't mate. It very well could be though. Do I have a defense left? King f2 maybe. Rook here. King f1. I'll have to go for something like this. Maybe go king h1 even. He's just calmly taking all the pieces. Rook at f1, very strong actually. Rook at h1 and I'll go here. And then there might be some shenanigans. But seems also very good for him. But this is actually stronger. Because now he can play queen at g2. But queen at g2. I have a pawn now, that's a very important one. It's actually not so easy here. And he's not deciding not to go for it. Let's place the pawn. And the knight as well. Creating threats with rook at g8. And he couldn't find an answer in time. Threat was rook at g8, take with the rook and then take f7 and knight at g5. Okay. Probably I thought it was very strong queen rook at f1, but maybe I had some counter chances with pawn at h7. Even if he went queen at g2 there. So continuing the streak here. Fumi Talks closing in. Also Jan Lee lost another game, so it's back to a very exciting tournament. Okay, strike 286. 7. Let's refrain from berserking for now and just try to get in good games. And I'm confident enough to play this against a bit lower rated player. This is a free pawn, he can't take back because knight at f3 is mate. So he has to make another move here. I could just take the knight, but I think moving back is better. And maybe go for knight h4. Okay, let's just block. If queen e7, probably knight at f5 would have come. So therefore I chose to block with the pawn on e6 there. Okay, d5 now. And giving the piece for activity. Looking at that square. Putting a pawn here. King d1 is probably the best response though. And he finds it. Let's harass the queen. Yes, if he takes my queen, there isn't a mate for him. Could try knight at g7, but I take with the rook. And I'll have some stuff going on e1, maybe. Or c1. Because I really want to lure this queen away from e2. Because f3 and e5 are hanging. Okay. Was thinking bishop h6 there for a brief moment, but that hangs made in one. Knight at c3, maybe. Actually looks reasonable. Let's go knight at c3 and take. It seems like I had to go for this because a very strong move now is bishop b5 or bishop at b5, and white is doing very well, but it's just not. It hasn't worked out for me the way I imagined it would be. Okay, bishop at e7. Does this work? Queen at c1, take. Pawn at b2. Yeah, that's mate. Just had to double check there. Pawn at d2 isn't mate, but pawn at b2 is. Pawn at d2 he can run to b1. And then I don't have any pawns left. But now either way, if d1, rook at c1, and otherwise rook at a1. Okay, Fumitak's taking the lead here. Jan not getting a streak just yet. So we're up for an exciting finish there at the top. Zyxon lost the game there, so most likely it's between Fumitux and Jan Lee here. Luft winning all his games, but Fumitux berserking a lot, so he although he's losing a lot, he's gathering more points by berserking. Alright, chicken. And this knight h4, it's something I played a lot in the candidates. So I have some experience with it. It's not just trying something. Let's see what else. Let's just go a4, see what he wants to do. Okay, he wants to go c5. Let's take the bishop then and try to go for f6 straights. And just fortify these g3 squares so that h2 is a safe haven. And maybe I'll trade once and knight f4. And then maybe knight takes d5 is an option, depending on how he defends, of course. Okay, now I'll take this one and go knight at d7. We'll probably see bishop takes f2 here. Otherwise queen e7 takes and bishop at d4 is very annoying. And now at least he has the option of going bishop at a3. Okay, let's take the rook and cover this bishop at e3 threat. And this is looking good for me. Or at least it's a playable position, and that's very nice against chicken. I played e3 because e5 is coming anyway, so now at least this e3 square is not open for a bishop or a pawn by chicken. Okay, let's see. Think about knight takes g6, knight takes d5. I guess I'll go for that. And the point being that this rook is doing a very good job defending, and if he takes, then pawn at f5 forks again. Forks these two again. So if takes, then pawn at f5. If takes, block, then pawn at f5 again. Yeah, so he decides to counter, try to get in on f3. And I'll defend f3 with the bishop and then go pawn at f5. Maybe I'll even go pawn at g6 to force the issue. And bishop at f5. Not give him any time. It does cost a pawn, but well, as you can see now, it's also beneficial to the clock because he's thinking. Okay, same challenger. Pawn here, probably useful. Okay, this is asking for trouble. Rook at e8 and bishop d5 probably. Or bishop at d5. Bishop at d5 is safer, I assume. And then just take this one. Because now I have ideas of pawn at h7 at some stage. Bishop takes here, pawn at h7 maybe. Just take the knight. And maybe he can go pawn at h2, take some crazy queen sack, but I don't believe in that. Okay, covering and going for g3. Okay. Pawn here, take. There's actually some threat there, so let's go pawn at f4. Just not allow him any business on h2. There is some motive that you play pawn at h2, rook at g1, pawn at h2, rook at g1, and remove my defenders, and then I don't have any back rank defenders, and then you mate me. Let's take with the queen. This is tough. Now this is important. He doesn't have any pawns left. And now I'll have the rook covering here. And the bishop covers f3. So there are no entry points for black. He's trying some random checks, but it isn't working. That's nice. To beat Chicken, always a very tough opponent. Okay, I'm doing well this last half hour, or hour maybe I should say. Don't know. It's going very good. Okay, Jan Lee. Let's see. Doing very well against me in general, but especially the last few games we played. At least he is respecting me enough not to berserk and just crush me. Okay, how to proceed. He has built a nice position for himself, and flexibilities with knight here, for example. So I'll just develop and see what he does and then try to respond accordingly. Okay, we'll probably see knight at f4 next. Knight at h5 next, I mean. So maybe we can anticipate that. Let's go rook g8. Bit of a prophylactic move, but could work. Ah, he has knight takes here in between. And he was clearly thinking about that. Okay. This is not worked out well for me. But we'll see. We'll say that we have sacrificed a pawn here for the open file. Let's take once and go bishop g4. I should probably go for bishop at c5 at some stage. We'll see that coming, I guess. Let's go f6 then. Massive trades, and d5 most likely. I don't have to take this, of course. But it seems like yeah, I only looked at which is of course dumb, but I only looked at a move like this and then I'll win, but he can just attack my queen and there's queen at e8 mate and many of these lines. So this is actually looking very bad. Is there something? Let's just make a last attempt. Okay, this should be over. Okay, it's tough, these openings. I'm experiencing against these well, around my level of rating players. TheFinnisher generally is of course better, but Rapid Variance is also very strong in the opening. I'm experiencing trouble in the opening, and when I do get a good position, then I feel like I can beat these guys. But now I just got outplayed out of the opening. Thanks for following Slot for Fun. Okay, Jan Lee on a streak, Fumitax on a streak, Zykes on, Luft still winning all his games. So this last half hour will be very exciting for the top 3 places. I'm currently in 5th, and if I can manage to stay in the top 5, I'll be happy. Okay, Rapid Variance up next. Let's see what he has against this opening. I'll expect him to have something prepared for this. So far it's looking pretty standard. Okay, let's take this. If he takes with the pawn, knight h4. Alright, and now I'm thinking about bishop at d3 maybe, as well as knight g5, trying to harass this bishop. Knight at g5 also comes to mind so that he can't play f6. Let's go knight at g5. Then we'll probably see some fortifying move, bishop at g6 or f5, and then I'll play bishop at d3, I guess. And now most likely knight g6. Knight g6 doesn't run into g4, but then these squares are weak, so I'll probably won't play g4 winning the piece. Let's get greedy. My plan is to go pawn at h5 next, force this knight to h8 or e7, and then say, okay, I've sacrificed the knight for a pawn, but at least I have I don't have to deal with any knights here. This knight is bad on e7 or h8. And let's say if it moves back to e7, I'll even have knight g5, winning material back on e4. And if it moves to h8, then I can play g4 maybe. Then it's justifiable. Okay, he's taking very long to deal with this move. That's nice. Let's keep up. I'm trying to keep up the tempo. Put a bishop here. Maybe make him move f6, or at least block the queen from joining there. And then maybe some knight e5. Ideally later on. Okay. I'll be happy to repeat this. And you could argue that the queen is slightly better on this square, but I feel like that if he takes again, then I'll get a tempo move, and that should be fine for me. For instance, if he moves back now, I'll have knight e5. Threatening here, as well as maybe take on e4 as well as knight at g6. And this is winning the queen. And this knight is doing a very good job of defending there. So there is no mating net for him. He needed a queen on h1 or a rook, and maybe some tricks with the knight here, but he can't lure me up the board, so I can just take the queen next, and I'll still have an attack, since this king will be on h7. Pawn g6 is now a huge threat. Queen at h5 maybe. I think I'll take this actually. Yeah, he's realizing he can't take it back. And he's very low on time, so maybe I had a mate, but I didn't want to calculate it all the way through, allowing him to get back into the game. This queen is just covering g2, the knight covers here nicely. So now I'll have time to attack. Rook at h6 is threatened. He spots the threat. Now bishop here, queen here, and then maybe I'll get in. Not there, not quite yet. Okay, let's go pawn here. If he takes the queen, I can promote to knight. He's defending this very well, actually. Take the bishop and then take the rook. That seems nice. Since I'm still well covered here. Okay, this rook f7. This was the way to go, just sacrificing the queen there for a lot of mating threats again. Okay, happy to take down Rapid Variance there. Very strong player. And I'm usually having trouble against him. Okay, Vector Veld again. Let's see how he plays this game. e4 and knight c3. Okay, let's go for this quick e5 again. Okay, he is differentiating now. I'll take here, I'll take on g7. And I'll offer queen trade. Okay, he doesn't want it. Then I'll try to get aggressive with c3 and f2. Yeah, he'll probably go for some knight h5. Okay, not just yet. I can harass this knight, then he has to move back. Or forward is also possible, but then I'll be able to take it. And now he's just asking for knight takes f2. Pawn here. Take on d5. Or d4, I should say. It's not made yet, but it's looking very strong. I'll take this pawn next, and then I'll have pawn at f2 as a threat. And now he even grants it with check, so that's mate in one. Because this pawn was doing a good job of guarding. Okay, all you need is Luft. Slow and steady, but he is berserking the last few games. On a great streak, and Jan Lee also on a streak. Fumitok's falling a bit behind. And maybe he'll get overtaken by Zyxon. Because the multiplier is just so important there. And we have Zyxon versus Luft now. And Jan Lee is playing Crazy Guy. So that's Luft versus Zyxon is a very important one for the tournament victory here. Alright, Mario Orton. Very even score against him. And we tend to have long, slow games. I think his style is a bit comparable to mine. Okay, going for knight e4 before developing his bishop. Now I'm developing my bishop here, so that's I can go knight e5 maybe. And he's also decided to not play for an early h6. You could say that's a bit greedy, to trying to exploit the fact that I played h3. But then h6 I don't fully understand in that regard. Okay, let's go knight at g5. Knight at h6 wasn't doing much, I thought. Okay, let's go e3, since the light squares are well covered. And then I can take with the e pawn on f4 if he wants to take it. And the light squares are doing, this bishop is doing a nice job, as well as this knight. And he doesn't have a pawn, or even two pawns to place on e4 and f3. Let's go knight at e3, attack this. And also guarding g4 and g2, just fortifying the light squares around my king. Okay, I'll take the bishop first. Okay, and now I'll get it. Try to counter on the light squares myself. Since he only has knights to defend, I'll try to take this bishop and then put a bishop on e6. Maybe pawn g4. If he goes bishop e4, I'll have the option of taking, but I'll probably put a pawn on f3. Just block it. Okay, he'll I'm expecting him to sacrifice the rook for a bishop. But I'm happy to take that and then switch onto the dark squares. So now he's fortified the light squares with his knight. So now I'm going back to the dark squares where he only had a bishop. And I have the opportunity of placing pieces on the board. Okay, not seeing a killer move here, so opting to go for rook here, so that I can take this pawn. Because obviously he has to do something about queen at f7 taking here. Okay, he decides to defend like this, and now I'll have to fork on f6 and d6, and of course you can take, but then this bishop gets strong, or this pawn gets strong on e5, and then I'm one step closer. But now he can't take back because of queen f7 and queen takes f6. Okay, Jan Lee has won his game against Crazy Guy and is now on top, playing chicken. And the game between Luft and Zyxon is still on. Looking very tense, with the king in the middle of the board there. And Fumitax has managed to win 2 games in a row, so if he's probably still berserking now. Let's see who's he playing. I missed that, but Fumitax also back into it. Alright, Rick Ostrov. Let's play b6 against him. Maybe I'll go knight h5 with the bishop on f4. Normally the bishop is on g5 there. e5 takes, take the bishop, then take the knight back. Seems reasonable. It's sacrificing a pawn, but I get to kick the queen around while putting pieces on the board. And I think that's important. For example, queen e4 now already I can take here. And then bishop at d5. Alright, I'll take the knight. Threatening to take the queen, so he probably has to take my queen. And there is no knight at h6 mating idea. Normally I can't sidestep because queen at g8, but I can just take. This bishop is doing a nice job of covering. And I'll have knight at h4, knight at f4 threat myself. So he has to deal with that threat first. So probably bishop at g5 is necessary, something like that. Okay, he goes knight at h5. Okay, then I'll have to go bishop at d5, covering f7. That's a miss by me, knight at e7. But okay, I'll get f3 back. And I can take this one. This is rather annoying though. I guess rook g8 is possible, and then block on an f8. Problem is though that he can do that a couple of times. And he can also play queen here, of course. Okay, let's see. I don't have any mating ideas. So I'll have to accept that he will repeat this shenanigan a couple of times. The problem for him is though that now pawn at e7 isn't a forcing move in one, so to say, so I don't have to respond directly to that threat. So I can maybe take this knight and create my mating threat again. So yes, he decides to take, which I think is the correct way to go there. And now I get to cover maybe. He can't, pawn d7 is not possible, can just take the rook. I think he had to take a sort of a draw there by taking e8, putting another rook on the back rank and taking again, and then we had just a draw. But now it seems like, it feels like I should be able to get away. Okay, he's threatening to take here, I guess. So knight at h6 should be enough there. Can also take the rook though. Take the rook, takes. Pawn here, take. Actually, I don't believe that it's mate. That it should lead to mate there. This is actually smart, since now he can take another piece. Okay. Gonna sack a bunch of stuff here. He has to take, because queen at g2 is mate. And now I'll go with the queen. He has to block with the rook, I think. Otherwise I'll just take his rook. And if he blocks with the rook, I'll take anyway and then put a rook on g1. So that I can take f2 with check, and then I've removed all his defenders. And then it shouldn't be that hard anymore. Not allowing him to escape here. And just mate him on the back rank. Oh, that's a slight mistake there. Let's see how to do this. Not the best execution. Okay, he gives me a knight, that's nice. I think he had to block with the bishop there to at least make me think a little more about it. Okay, Fumitog's taking the lead with the berserking strategy paying off. Okay, I'll berserk back this time. Had a good streak, so I'm okay losing, or at least berserking a game now. Trying to get in on g7. And it's funny, Platypus and I probably had this position a few times before, but we have played so many games. Well, at least this is many for me. If you try to if you check the games between Operation and Jan Lee, for example, it's just, well, maybe over 5,000 already. A lot. It's at least a lot. Very, very much games. Very many games, I should say. Okay. Let's attack the bishop. The defender of g7, knight at h7. I want to play knight h5, of course. And he can't defend with another bishop, which would have been nice. Okay, so he defends with the queen there. Let's take and repeat. And I want to take the rook and then go knight at e7, winning the queen. Now forking here. Queen at f8 seems very strong. He has to take, and then I can take on g8 and mate. Probably. I guess he defends. Okay, I missed a few moves there, but he's running low on time and he doesn't have an attack, which works in my advantage. Queen at h4 is mate. Okay, found the mate anyway. And let's see who's playing who. Jan Lee is playing Luft, and Fumitox is playing Crazy Guy. Seems to be winning, so I think it will be Fumitox tournament today. This is looking like a win for Fumi. And then with 2.5 minutes to go, I don't think Jan Lee can take 9 points. Let's see how are we doing. I'm just solid 5, so I won't berserk to try to get a 4th place or something like that. It's just not possible. And let's just play out this probably the last game. Try to get a good game against bridge and chess. Let's go bishop e7 and d6. I saw today rapid variance Juan at this knight d4 move, and I thought it was nice, so let's go for it. Queen e8 maybe. I think I have to go d6 actually, and just allow this pressure on f7. Knight e6 maybe. I thought that actually knight e6 was played against me. I remember now. Yeah, this line. CIW took me last week in this line. He went knight g5 first, and I went king g8, and then knight d5 was crushing. But now maybe I'll be able to hold it. Not so easy, of course. But maybe bishop at e8. I gotta cover f7 somehow, and if I put a bishop on h5, then he can just knock it off. Maybe knight at g5 first probably, and then just take. And this bishop seems like a strong defender, and it's not so easy for him to break it. This bishop does allow some back rank move, so I have to be careful for that. Yeah, there we go. Knight at g5 is now well, almost mating actually. Bishop at g8 probably. Yeah, let's just put pieces on the board here. Pawn at e6 maybe. Pawn at e6 I can take with the king. Or maybe not. Tough. He's trying to figure out the way to go here. Maybe it's knight at g5 and okay, I have to move back. Can't move up, I think. Let's see what he wants to do. He wants to go knight d6. Yeah, that's strong. But he can also take this one, so I'll have to accept the loss of the queen here. No, he doesn't go for it. I think he had to go for it there. It seems very strong. And well, okay, this is still very good for white. But now he has given me this escape. Let's take the knight. If I take here, he'll take like this. But he's attacking very nicely here. C6 covering these squares and also creating a square for the king to run to. Queen g4 though. Queen g4 must be winning. Bishop at d8. Yeah, he's finding all the good moves. Knight at e6, queen at c7. Okay, he goes the other way, knight at a8. Nice finish, very well done. Okay, lost the last game, but happy to take clear 5th place here with such a strong field. Congrats to Fumitox, winning with a 5-point gap there. Jan Lee in 2nd place. Well, you can see the standings there for yourself. And you know it's been a strong tournament if Chicken played almost the whole tournament and is on the 10th place. Very strong outcome today. Okay, that's it for me today, guys. I'll see. Let's see when I'll be here again. Probably for the monthly Crazyhouse. As usual, I have to work on Tuesday, so I won't be here at 9 o'clock sharp, but probably around 10 Central European summertime, so there will be 3 hours of tournament left then. So hope to see you then, and have a great weekend. Goodbye.